Hello, today you're going to learn how to use the TenantTech maintenance module. This is an optional module that can be added on to TenantTech, and it will appear as this maintenance tab. Some of you might see this already. If you don't, contact us and we can get that turned on for you. Under the maintenance section, we have several different options. Work orders is the main one where you'll be spending most of your time. History, we're not going to go into that today. We're going to talk about that possibly in a future video. Parts, vendors, staff, and setup. Before we get into the main work orders, let's take a quick look at some of these and make sure they're set up correctly. Under setup, we will put in, if you want, a short prefix which will be used in front of each work order at this particular property. So if you wanted to have a code or a number or an abbreviation that you want before each work order number, you can put that in here. Also, you can set the mileage rate, which is in cents, and that will appear later on invoices. On the staff section, you can set up maintenance staff members. You can click create new maintenance staff member, put in their information, their rate, their cell phone, basically setting up a TenantTech account for them and select the properties that they can access. I'm not going to set up a new one right now, but we have some existing ones. Sam Smithers, we can edit him and we can see what it looks like when it's all filled out. Once you have staff members in there, you can assign maintenance tasks to them. You won't be able to assign them to just anyone at the property or at your company. Only those have been set up correctly as maintenance members who can have work orders assigned to them. You can also set up vendors. We can create a new vendor here. Just fill in all the basic required information and save. So we can look at an existing vendor, AA Best Roofing. Got all the information in here. We've also marked this as available company-wide. So if you're working at a company with multiple different properties in TenantTech and you click that, it will make this vendor available company-wide. So that means that for vendors that everybody's using, they only have to be entered once and then they can be shared among all of the properties. You can add notes and attachments for a vendor. You can edit them, delete them, etc. Parts, if you have a maintenance department where you stock certain parts, like maybe a toilet repair kit or something like that, you can stock those, put them into TenantTech, and then you can bill back for them in the work orders, and we'll show that in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and edit one. Let's take a look at the big bolt. So it has a part number, it has a name, has a description, and has a cost. In this case, it's 40 cents. So you just put all that information in there and save it. You can create a new part as usual by clicking the button up in the corner, put in all the information you need, and save it. You can edit and delete parts. We're going to skip history. We're going to look at work orders, the main area. So once you've got some of this stuff set up, you can start doing your work orders, or even before you've got any of that set up, you can still do your work orders. So here we are in work orders, and if you have multiple properties that you are linked up to, you're going to see them all in this list here. You can pick one. These are some of our test and demo properties. You can do all properties, or you can just pick one at a time. You're going to pick it here, and then you're going to do search, and it's going to refresh down below. So I'm going to go to Beautiful Apartments, Oregon. That's one that we use a lot. You can show all the units, or you can pick a particular unit if you just want to see the work orders that are for that particular unit. So I'm going to do all units. You can also do, this is basically an advanced search area. This is the purpose of it, this zone. You can search by work order number if you know that. You can search by status, dates, who it's assigned to, different things like that. So I could look at all the new work orders. You can see all the status is going to be new here, or I can look at all of those that are in process. There's only one that's in process, or I can just do all. Down here we're going to have the list of work orders. Like most lists in TenantTech, you can click the top bar of the columns and sort by that bar. So if you want them in order by building or unit or date, and as you click it, it will reverse back and forth. So I like to sort by date with the newest ones at the top. So the little arrow is going to be pointing down. You can also sort by work order number. That would be a good thing because you're going to have those numbers are going to be going up. Or you could search by status or whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to do it by date. You can edit existing work orders. I'm going to go ahead and create a new one, and that will show you the whole process. So up at the top we have create new work order. And let's just get familiar with this pop-up. We can select our property here, so if you happen to be on the wrong property earlier, down below, you can change around here. If it's for some area that isn't a unit, like a common area, or you're dealing with the pool or some amenity or the entire property, a roof, that sort of thing, you can click no unit and the list of units will go away. Typically it's going to be something relating to a specific unit, so you have your little list of units here. You can search for them, or I like to just sort of scroll down and we can pick one. So we can pick this one with resident first in it. So now it's selected, so this work order is going to be linked up to this particular unit. And then we just go ahead and fill things out. So it's going to autofill things that it knows. The date requested, it's just going to autofill today. You can change that using the calendar if you want. Maybe it was requested yesterday. It's requested by, I'm just going to put in John Smith, could be anything. The home phone, mobile phone, email, those will populate from the resident information if it has them. It doesn't have them in this case, so I'll just put in some fake numbers. The email, description. Now the way this works is, right now I'm editing the overview of this work order. You have to think of a work order as a container for multiple tasks. So with one work order you could have a task related to fixing the toilet in the bathroom and also repairing the kitchen stove and maybe putting in new drapes. You could put those all connected to one work order. Each of those is going to be a separate task. Or you can separate your tasks so that each task is with its own work order. One work order per task and one task per work order. I'm going to show you how to put multiple tasks on one work order. So since I'm doing the overview of the whole work order, the description I'm going to put in here can be anything. But keep in mind that I'm going to also be putting in descriptions for the individual tasks. So you don't necessarily have to put in the full description here, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. Best time to contact, from and to. You can also put in information on when the smoke alarms were checked. This is just some handy information. If the residents are granted permission for entry, you can say, yeah, it was John Smith, and he gave me permission today. We can say there's pets, minors, entry concerns. You might want to say there's a big dog, something like that. So this is all the basic information for the whole work order. And then I'm going to go into the tasks. So in the Tasks tab, you'll notice we have tabs up here on a lot of different screens that pop up in TenantTech. So always keep in mind these little green tabs here. It says this work order has no tasks. Enter information below and click Add Task. So the first thing I'm going to put in is the location. So in this particular case, let's say that it was in the kitchen. It's a pretty typical place to have a work order. And the type is going to be appliance. The status is usually going to start out as new. You can change that if you want. I can assign this to a staff member. So I'm going to assign this one to, or I can assign it to a vendor. I'm going to assign it to Sam Smithers. And if his cell phone information is in there, then when I'm ready I can click text task to cell phone, and it will send him an alert that he has a new task in TenantTech. I'm going to put in the description. So let's say this is fix left front burner on stove. If I want to, I can connect to an inventory item. This unit doesn't have any inventory items, but I can create a new one. Back on the units page in TenantTech, you can put in all different types of inventory, anything you want really, from carpet to things for the kitchen to things in the bathroom, anything. So I'm going to go to kitchen. I'm going to say, let's see, microwave oven, range. and I'm just going to say test here. You can put all the information. So I've created a new inventory item. Now I can link to that item. And that's a way of linking up your work order tasks to specific objects in the unit. The start date, let's say it's going to be today. And some of this information is not going to be entered at first, but when you come back later, you'll be entering it. So once this is completed, then you can go and say who completed it, the completion date, whether you're going to charge the resident, and notes and the work that was actually completed. So you can put that in, or possibly your maintenance tech can put that in. It really depends on your workflow at your specific company. So I've added one task, and I'm going to show you this stuff a little bit later. So I'm going to add that task. Okay, so that task is in there. And let's say we're also going on the same work order. While he's there, we want him to do some other work as well. Maybe there's something in the bathroom. So we go to bath, other one, and we say, maybe this one's electrical. Maybe it's not plumbing, but maybe there's something wrong with the light switch. Light switch is broken. And we'll assign it to Sam as well. I'm not going to do an inventory item on this. It's just a light switch. We can do the start date today. And again, there's other information we can fill in later when we need to. So I've got that secondary task, and I'll just do one more. Maybe he needs to go down to the basement and do something with heating. Furnace is on the fritz. And we'll add that task as well. You'll notice that as I add the tasks, they build up in a list up at the top. Then if I want to go refer to a task later, I can just click it. It will open that task and fill in all the information here for that task, and then I'm editing that particular task. Down below, we have a cancel, save, and remove. This deals with the specific task that I'm on. Then at the very, very bottom, we have our standard cancel and save for the entire work order. So I'm going to go ahead and save this whole work order. And here it is. It's listed under Beautiful Apartments, Oregon, building, unit, the date, and the type is going to reflect the types of tasks that you assign. So if there were no tasks, it would say none, or if it was common areas, this one I happen to know is a common area one. If there was just one type of task, it would show just the one here. This one's inspection. If there were two, it will try to fit two. If there's more than that, it's going to say multiple. So this one is a multiple task work order. Now we can see when I click the work order in the list, just like most TenantTech screens, we have information popping up on the right. So we have the basic information on the work order, the description, the entry note, permission granted, the phone numbers, and what the different tasks are kind of summarized here. So you can go through your tasks, just kind of look at them, and to sort of see what's on that particular task on the side. We have various options here with little buttons, just like a lot of places. We can edit, we can delete, we can generate a maintenance request PDF. So this is going to put us back into the regular forms and documents system, and it's going to take what it can from that work order and generate the maintenance request PDF. And it will do the best it can. It will fill in the data that you entered into the correct places, but there's a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily match up. So once you get there, you might have to change some stuff around or add some data. I'm not going to do that now. It would probably add a couple minutes to the demo, so I'm just going to skip that, but just know that's in there. You can print the work order. This is going to bring up, I'm going to cancel the print dialog, but this will bring up our built-in service request layout. You can see it's taken the tasks and it's put them into this little layout screen here. It's got the basic info, the permission and entry. It's even got a place for the resident to sign. And you can hand this to your maintenance tech and say, okay, here are your tasks relating to this unit. This is all one service request. It's all one work order. Has the basic info and the date, the address. And then I've got task 1 of 3, task 2 of 3, task 3 of 3. It's all summarized. It tells them where it is, if there's an inventory item, the type, location, and the description of what they have to do. If there was more information, it would also appear on the service request. You can print that out and give it to somebody. You can also email the work order. It's going to take this same format, turn it into a PDF, and send an email. So we're just going to get our standard email pop-up, and you can send that. You can set your own subject. It's good to BCC yourself just so you get it in your email. You can preview the attachment, etc. We can void a work order, so we can just void it out if we want. I'm not going to void that one, but it will basically strike through, and then it will show it as voided, and then you'll have the option to restore that work order later. We can create an invoice. I'm going to do that later after I put some invoiceable items onto the work order. We can request approval. If things are set up correctly in your system, if you have a portfolio manager or property manager who's set up correctly, you can select them here and send this, and it will go to their phone. It will actually send a text to them if you have this checked. Otherwise, it'll add to an email queue, and they'll be emailed out 2 or 3 times a day, depending on your company's settings. And your PM will be able to approve a work order. They can look at it. They can approve or deny it with a single click. So that's a pretty handy thing to use there. It's called request approval. And for any work order, you can add notes and attachments. So if you want to put in any notes, if you want them to copy to the manager's log, you can have that checked or unchecked if you don't. You can upload attachments. Those could be invoices, photos of damage. They could be really whatever you want. And this is just like all the other places in TenantTech where you can do notes and attachments. Down below, we have history and notes. You can add a little note here if you want. This would be a note that would just stay here all the time. You can save it. And down here we have the history. Like in some other TenantTech screens, starting from the bottom is going to be the oldest thing. These are all done today. It was created, it was assigned to Sam Smithers, a task was added, a task was linked. Basically has little things that you've done, so you have just a history of what's gone on with that work order. So that shows us everything we can do to a work order from this screen. The other trick is when something has a little underlinable link, you can click right on that. So I'm going to click right on that multiple button to bring up the work order for editing. So let's say that you gave this to your tech, they went out, they did all the work, and now you've got to do a little follow-up. So I'm going to select each of these tasks. So this one was completed by Sam. Completion date was, let's say it's tomorrow. All work done. And like I said, you can do this, or your tech can do this depending on your company. Now if you want to log the time, mileage, and parts, we can do that here. So we start out with one line, and we can add another line if we want to. So in this case, we've got Sam, and let's say that working on this front burner took him 2 hours. And you can put in some notes if you want. You can also add more time. So let's say Sam had to go back the next day and do a little follow-up work on this. Maybe he had to get a part or something. So I go in, Sam Smithers, maybe spend another hour, maybe on the 16th. So you can do the same thing with mileage. So we can do Sam, let's say he had to drive 15 miles. This is going to appear on the bill back invoice. And parts, let's say this was an appliance with a burner. Let's just sort of look at our parts here. We've got them coded with 1, 2, 3, 4. None of these really fit, but let's say that he went a little crazy, and while he was fixing the burner on the stove, he got a toilet seat and attached that. So let's say he got a toilet seat. It's $20.50. You could do multiple ones, and it's going to show you the total. So this is going to appear on the invoice. And you could do other parts as well. So I'm going to save that. And then I can do the same thing for the other tasks. I can say they were completed. This is all up to you. Depending on your workflow and how you're going to do things. Fix light switch. And let's say you needed a part here. Let's say you needed a brick to bash that light switch into shape. That costs 50 cents, so you're going to bill that back. Okay, so I'm not going to do the last one, but we'll save that out. And now, if we want to create an invoice, we can click Create Invoice. Again, it's going to bring up ready for printing. I'm just going to cancel that and show you what the invoice looks like. So it's got the summary information up above. It shows the total parts, labor, mileage, and the total amount. Summarizes the information. It's got the parts Here we had 2 toilet seats and 1 brick. We had Sam working 2 hours one day, an hour the other day. His rate was set up in the staff area. You can set that by editing him. And the mileage, he did 15 miles at 60 cents per mile. So everything is added up at the top if you want to do a bill back for that work. And that's how the maintenance module works. When you're done, you can change the status of a work order, change the status of each task, I should say, to completed, or you can close them out. You can also print a work order from this area as well. And you can request approval, see the work order number, things like that. Thank you for your time, and thanks for using TenantTech.